The world is, man. People are heartless, cold, cruel, bitter, vengeful, wicked bastards, man, for the most part. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people who have like housing, an apartment or a home or something, come up to borrow money from me, never fucking pay me back. I'm a fucking idiot, but I I'm just like this bleeding heart, fucking wanting to help people, and end up screwing myself over. I was so fucking drunk the other night. I gave this guy fucking 4 ounces of goddamn silver when I was shit faced because he gave me some sob story about, oh, my dog's sick. I need to take her to the vet. You know, that's the kind of person I am, even when I'm drunk. I just want to help people. When I see somebody out homeless on the street, I look at him and I'm thinking, like, no, dude, seriously, I've thought about. I've never done it, but I've certainly had the thought over and over to just like say, "Come on in. You can sleep on the couch. You know, come on in. I've got extra room in my place. Come on in. Just come live for free with me." I've thought about it, but like I have to control these urges and these thoughts to try to help people because it just ends up fucking me over. People just walk all over me basically. I act nice and try to help people. I just get fucked over. A dude to come over acting like my friend, but he'd take every goddamn penny I have and walk away with a smile on his face if he could. He's getting fucking housing and probably social security money and shit. He's gonna come fucking borrow money from me. Probably never see a goddamn dime of it back. Fucking bleeding heart. Wanted to help some dog. Fuck. When I had all that money in the first place, I thought about the thought came to mind a bunch of times. I thought about just giving all of it away to the homeless. I thought about just walking up to every homeless person and just giving them fucking $1,000 or something, or or whatever, or just finding one that was really good that and giving them all the money or something, or donating all the money to Share Tanzania or some real charity that actually is helping people. You know, but so many charities are fake as hell, dude. They take fucking 90% of the money and buy fancy sports cars and nice big houses for themselves and give 5 or 10% of it away to the poor. That's the reality of most charities. That's why I don't donate to charity. Like, or no, I've never. I very rarely donate to charity because I don't trust that they're actually doing anything like really that good. I know that they're gonna take most of the money and buy big fucking houses and yachts and private jets for themselves. That's what the hell they do, man. Honestly, I see all this like positive aspiration sort of shit showing up in my YouTube feed and stuff like that all the time. All this shit saying, you're going to be rich in the next 24 hours, or you're going to be buying a new car and a house and all this kind of shit. You know, manifestation. Oh, it's going to manifest good things in your life. And it's nice. I look at it and I kind of smile and I think, yeah, that'd be nice. But it never fucking happens. Never fucking happens. I pray and pray and pray my ass off for a miracle, but it never comes. No, God has a way of kind of toying with me, honestly. I'd pray for a miracle, money miracle or something, and I'd find a penny everywhere I go, you know? No, seriously. Or like, I started taking an interest in collector coins and stuff, right? Like quarters that are. Did you know that like there's a whole bunch of quarters that did you know that all of your change basically is worth significant, like most of it is worth more than face value? Like a lot of the quarters that you have in your pocket are actually worth like at least $2 or $1 or something. Yeah, true story. But again, like who the fuck is gonna buy them from me? That's the problem. It's only worth that much if somebody's actually going to buy it from you, and they buy it from other people. But I don't have anybody buying shit for me. You know, I guess I might as well pump them in a damn washing machine or something. Got a quarter that's worth fucking $25 or something. Might as well stick it in a fucking washing machine to wash my clothes or something. Because who the fuck's gonna actually buy it from me? That's the story of my life, man. No, but like I was gonna give that as an example of something that God does in my life. I start taking an interest in collector's quarters, and then all of a sudden, everywhere I go, I'm getting almost nothing but collector's quarters. You know, getting fucking just tons and tons of collector's quarters. So many collector's quarters that it makes it difficult for me to even do my laundry because I'm looking at all the quarters and like, oh shit, that's the collector's. That's worth $2. That's worth $5. That's worth $10. You know, it's like, goddamn, aren't there any regular quarters in here? That's the sort of shit that God does in my life. But it's kind of just like toying with me. Or God will make it so I can find tons and tons of things for super cheap that I could sell for a massive profit if anyone would ever buy shit from me, but nobody ever buys shit from me. That's the fucking problem, you know. Or God blessed me with this uncanny ability to find all kinds of like valuable antiques and artwork and to find super valuable shit just all over the place. I could walk into a thrift store just about any day of the week and find tons and tons of stuff that I should be able to sell for a massive profit. But the problem is, I can't get anyone to buy a damn thing from me, you know? So I could get all kinds of inventory, but who the hell's gonna buy it? That's the problem. I got no fucking customers. I got nobody that will buy shit. I try to sell shit and nobody's buying shit from me. I could price shit for 1/10 of the price that everybody else is selling it for, and they still won't buy shit from me. That's how it goes in my life, man. It is, man. That's how fucking is gone in my life, man. Things just fall apart. Everything I try to do, every good idea I have that I know is a good idea, that I even feel like God led that this is a good idea, but it never happens for me. It never fucking works out for me. Everything just falls apart. It's like I'm fucking cursed, you know? And I know I am cursed. I'm literally cursed. I'm literally a target of these like archons or demons or something. I have demonic attacks in my life. I have curses from probably numerous witches from my past. You know, I'm cursed. I'm fucking cursed. And it's especially as a curse of lack is the main fucking thing, but I also just get tormented by people that are possessed or whatever, you know? God gives me this gift of being able to find the absolute cheapest prices on everything. But then something is always in the way preventing me from being able to get things sold. Or if I manage to find cheap housing or something, something is there to block me, to stop me from being able to get it. I can't tell you how many mobile homes I found for sale for a few $1,000s that I easily could have afforded. And I easily could have got in there and fucking had a good life. But I'd call up and I wouldn't be able to get a hold of anyone, or they'd sell it to somebody else before me. You know? It reminds me of a story. I don't know if maybe this is kind of different, but it kind of reminds me of the story I heard of. There was this guy in Portland that wanted to buy, I don't know, some building he wanted to buy, and he wanted to open up he wanted to buy this building in order to turn it into a homeless shelter. And he offered like millions of dollars, but they wouldn't sell it to him. They sold it for less than half of the money he was offering to somebody else, because that's how far they would go out of their way to stop a man from building a homeless shelter. You know, that's what I'm talking about, you know? Not only is there not real help in this world, there are people actively working hard to prevent real help from ever occurring. That's what the fuck the reality is. Mm-hmm. It's literally, it's not like there's a curse over my life. It's not like there's demon possessed people fucking with me. That is literally what's happening. There is a curse on my finances, especially my finances. But I mean, I have times where I've had people literally try to murder me. Like that is the level of like demonic attack in my life, basically. I have people trying to rob me, trying to murder me, fucking just left and right. You wouldn't fucking believe it. And people that are just like trying to freak me out, have, you know, just mess with my head, you know, trying to intimidate me and mess with my head basically all the fucking time, basically. Constant mind fuckery, basically. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I do. I have a gift, a gift from God or whatever you might say, that and this is one of the probably a gift that could save my life. If it wasn't for this curse over my life, over my finances, I could be fucking rich, dude, with what I know. You see, that show Antique Picker, the Pickers or American Pickers or whatever it's called, right? You ever watch that? I am at least as good as those guys at finding things that are of value. I could show them. Honestly, they ought to fucking come here. I could show them some shit right here. there's there's stuff all over the place, man. But the thing is, like, those people, they have connections. They know people. They can make a couple of phone calls and have something sold. Me, on the other hand, I can find all that shit easy. Easy. But I don't have any way to get it sold properly. Nobody wants to buy a goddamn thing from me. I mean, this is the way my life is, man. I could walk in to a yard sale or a fucking thrift store and probably find, you know, like a Michelangelo's David or a fucking Picasso or some antique that's worth tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I could find a fucking Stradivarius at a yard sale or something that's worth millions, but I can't get it fucking sold, you know? Actually, my dad has one. That's why I keep mentioning Stradivarius. But he doesn't even realize what he's got. He had some guy check it out that's supposed to be an expert, but he didn't know shit. Oh, this is probably a fake. Well, if it's a fake, it's a really goddamn old one, I'll tell you that. It had real catgut strings in the fucking. You gotta see how worn out the fucking case it was in and how old the fucking thing was. And it had the Stradivarius signature. It had a fucking those catgut strings. I picked up the package that the catgut strings came in, and the package was so old that it crumbled in my hand when I touched it. You know? And he's just got it sitting in his closet somewhere. I tried to buy it from him, but he won't fucking sell it to me. And he's not going to sell it to anyone. He's just going to hold on to it. Probably going to sit in the back of his closet somewhere forever. You know? And he's cut me out of his will. He's going to give all his money and everything to people that have, you know, already have tons of money and own a house and everything. They're going to get all of my inheritance, basically. That's how it goes in my life, man. I get fucking screwed over left and right. And there's just... Honestly, man, it would not surprise me that much. Like, if I actually ever did win the lottery somehow, and I had, say, $10 million or something after taxes, like, if that actually happened somehow, I don't know. Like, I can't really be certain that I would even be able to buy a house. I'm not really certain. I mean, I think I should be able to if I had that much money. But I can't say for sure because I know how things go in my life. I know that I should have already had a mobile home at the very least. I've seen dozens of them for sale that I could have afforded easily. But I was never able to get any of them because there's always something in the way. There's always something that prevents me from being able to get into anything. I mean, whatever spiritual forces there are in this world, they will literally alter the fabric of fucking reality in order to prevent me from getting a home or from getting into a cheaper motel or any goddamn thing. They keep me right where the fuck they want me. And I cannot go anywhere without them allowing it or wanting me to be there. You know? That's how I ended up in room 13 in the fucking so-called apartment from hell. You know? Because even trying to get any kind of goddamn housing is like, oh, sure, you can have housing, but you have to be in this room that's numbered for the tarot card of death, you know? Right? Oh, yeah, you can have a motel room, but it has to be this place and it has to be this room. No, seriously, dude. Seriously. This forces that I'm dealing with, like, they control what room I'm in. They control what motel I can stay at. Because if I try to find something else, something better, I can never get into it. There's just always something in the way. It's either always fully occupied at all times, or it doesn't matter what I do, what I try. Cause there's, I mean, I shit you not. Now I'm talking about like serious, like Mandela effect kind of changes, right? That affect me personally. Like it's literally like the kind of shit that is done to prevent me. I've told this story before, and it sounds nuts. I know it sounds nuts, but I shit you not. There were two mobile homes for sale in a nearby town that I went I went there in person like a dozen times or more, and it took me months to even get the fucking manager on the phone to talk to anyone. And I had money ready to fucking buy the damn thing. One of them, either one. But then when I finally get to talk to the manager after months of trying to get a hold of them, they said the places weren't for sale. And not only that, but I drove past them again, and I'd driven past I'd looked at these places a dozen times or more. And when I get there and they say they're not for sale, I drove past them again on the way out, and they were different. They were like different colors and shit. And they wouldn't have they didn't have enough time to repaint them and shit. And I mean, they looked different. They were positioned a little differently. They were colored differently. Like it's like they had been supernaturally changed. And it's not just that, but there was a motel in that same town that I wanted to go to because at one point I got the woman to agree to take $800 to take $200 a week, which wouldn't have been so bad, and I could have even made some money even with a part-time job or something and kept that going. But when I first looked at this motel, like I'd driven past it hundreds of times, man, and I've looked over and looked at it, and I swear to God, man, that motel used to have, I would estimate, maybe 50 rooms or something, 30 to 50 rooms or more. There used to be this front section that's all that's left now, that had like 4 or 5 rooms. But then around the side there was like a path that led to another section that had like upstairs and downstairs rooms, and it looked like it had at least like 50 to 100 rooms. But when I drove up there and pulled into the parking lot for the first time, I get there and all the rest of the rooms that were there on the side are gone. There's some other shit there now, and there's only like 4 rooms at the entire fucking motel suddenly. Supernatural fucking change. That's what I'm talking about. The actual, alteration of physical matter in order just to fuck me over, just to make me be stuck. Basically, that's what happens in my life. It happens all the fucking time. So I get to where I don't even feel like trying anymore, because I try. When I do try, and I try and try, and I actually put an effort in, I get fucking nowhere, because there's always something there to prevent me from moving forward and from improving my fucking situation in life. There's always something to prevent me. There's always some kind of fucking goddamn like supernatural force outside of my control that fucking screws me over. And God communicates with me all the time, all the synchronicities and the fucking signs and like okay, one thing like this like about a year ago when I first moved out, right? I was praying to find a home and praying for some kind of financial miracle to save me. And what God did then, it was like I'd start finding pennies everywhere. And I mean everywhere. If I'd step outside of my motel room, there'd be a penny on the ground in front of the fucking door. I'd walk to the car, there'd be a penny on the ground next to my car. I'd pull into a grocery store and get out of the car, there'd be a penny on the ground next to where I parked. I'd walk into the store, I'd find pennies on the ground on the way there. You know? that's what I'm talking about. And that happened everywhere I went, every single day for the longest time. And then it switched from pennies to dimes, and I'd start finding dimes everywhere. Yeah. But it's like, and like I said, with the collector quarters and stuff, and I also bought Kennedy half dollars, and after I bought the Kennedy half dollars, I started getting people when I go buy something at a store, they'd hand me a Kennedy half dollar back in change, which is something that like never happened before. And I don't like rarely would see these collector quarters, and now I'm seeing almost nothing but collector's quarters when I get change or when I buy quarters for laundry or whatever. I'm getting almost entirely nothing but collector's quarters now because I know they're worth more. But it doesn't really help me so much that they're worth more because I can't get them fucking sold. Nobody buys them from me. So for me, they're worth a quarter. For any other fucking schlub, they're worth fucking $5 or $10, $20, $2, depending on what quarter they are. But for me, they're worth fucking 25 cents because nobody will fucking buy them from me. That's my situation. That's my life. That's what it's like to be me. It's like the shit is supernaturally changed and altered just to fuck with me, just to screw me over. This guy Regato talked about this shit, he goes through the same sort of shit that I do. I told you the story about how he went to buy he talked to somebody that told him he'd sell him the camp trailer. It was an RV or something, and he went to go look at it. He was gonna buy it, and the guy steps outside and the thing bursts into flames. He had to bust a window out, crawl out the fucking window, and he got burnt. He ended up in a hospital burn unit. Like that is the level of fuckery basically that goes on in my life. I've had two different people that looked like the Walking Dead, like freaking zombies or something. They looked like they were decomposing is what they looked like. Like the worst like meth looking face you could imagine, but beyond that, like looked like they had fucking leprosy or something. I don't. And they tried to wreck into my car. They tried to kill me in traffic. This happened, like I said, just twice in just the last year. I've had other shit like that, different. But like, that's what goes on in my life, man. God gives me certain gifts, but it's like never enough, and it doesn't really help me because it's like God will give me a Picasso, that I could walk into a, this is the kind of shit that God does for me, right? I could walk into a thrift store or a yard sale and find a fucking Picasso or something, right? Because God put a Picasso there for me to buy for $5 or something, or $2. And I could walk out of that place with my fucking Picasso and I could try to sell it. And months could go by, years could go by. I never fucking sell it. And the only time I'm ever fucking finally able to sell it is when I sell it for a couple $100 or something, because no one will give me what it's fucking worth. That's what goes on in my life. That's what it's like to be me. You know? I know tons and tons of shit about like retail items. To where if I had like a little store, man, I know tons of things that would be worth like a massive profit margin, man. I can buy something for $10 that would, if I had a store, could sell them for $50 a piece or something. I got, tons of shit like that. I know where to get rings that look like a fucking diamond ring that I could buy for like a $1.50, you know, or 89 cents or something. I shit you not. I can get tons and tons of jewelry, necklaces, rings, you know, all fancy watches, all kinds of stuff for super, super fucking cheap. Like $1 or pocket change or something kind of cheap. But the problem is I don't have any way to get them sold. Nobody will buy shit from me. I could have all the merchandise in the world and nobody fucking buys shit from me. That's the fucking problem. I could have or I could find I could find, I could look around and search around and find a house for sale for $10,000 or $5,000. You know, I found, like I said, dozen or more than a dozen mobile homes for sale for like a few thousand, for a price that I could actually afford, at least back then. And I try and try. I call, I ask questions, I try to fucking get the place, and something stops me from doing it. Something gets in the goddamn way and prevents me and makes it so that I can't buy the place. That's what happens, man. I get completely fucked over, man. When I first had money, and I had at one point almost $50,000, man, I looked all over the place. And this guy, I posted on Craigslist asking anybody has a mobile home for sale or something. And this guy emails me and he says, he says that, oh yeah, you can move in with me and just split the rent. I'd only have to pay like few $100s a month or something, and I could have like a whole half of this mobile home or something. And I'm like, oh right, all right, that sounds good. And I drive over there at a time when I should be packing and getting ready to get out of there. I drive over there to this place, and it's like it's like a bombed out crack house, basically. I mean, it looked like the sort of shit you would expect to see in like Palestine or something like it'd been, you know, like completely trashed. Like the thing should be bulldozed to the ground. Basically, it was disgusting, horrible. Like fucking ceiling caving in everywhere and garbage all over the place, and you know, graffiti on the fucking walls, and there's like holes in the walls and missing walls, and you know, electrical wires hanging down and rusty, and you know, everything was completely fucking trashed, man. And looking back now, this entire fucking year, that was the best goddamn offer I ever got, man. I should have fucking moved the fuck in there. because that was the only damn thing. That was the best option that had ever been made available to me. Honestly, I've tried every. I offered to buy. I offered that guy. I said, "Here's what I'm thinking." I said, "I'll buy a nice mobile home, and we can have this thing and pay to have this thing hauled out, and we'll put a nice mobile home in here, like practically brand new." And he said, "Oh no, man, we could fix this up." This old, like, oh, but he wouldn't go for it. Looking back now, though, I wish I'd just fucking moved in there. I should have, because it was the only fucking thing that was ever offered to me. It was the only thing that I actually could have got into. I tried and tried. I found so many mobile homes for sale, and I fucking drove all over the place, made so many damn phone calls, and it just got nowhere. I always got screwed over. I always got fucked out of any opportunity or any place that I ever could have afforded. Just disappeared right before my eyes, basically. The rug gets pulled out from under me, basically. Every time I try to do anything to fucking improve my situation, to improve my life, I get the fucking rug pulled out from under me. That's what happens, man. So that's why I fucking end up feeling the urge to drink, because every time I fucking go somewhere, every time I even leave the goddamn room and go outside, there's some kind of weird fuckery happening. Somebody glaring at me, or some, evil people fucking around, or like weird shit, like I don't know, I can't describe it. There's so many fucking weird things, man. So many weird things. Like unbelievable, impossible fucking things that you would, crazy shit, man. It's like I'm living in the fucking Twilight Zone or something, man. There's always something, man. Always something. Always some kind of weird shit going on. Every time I go shopping, every time I go out to do my laundry or go to do fucking anything, there's some kind of weird fuckery happening. Some kind of weird shit going on. Well, it's a lot of little things. And then there's some big major things, but mostly it's a lot of little things, a lot of little strange happenings, strange details. Like the last time I went to the grocery store and I ended up buying 3 bottles of wine, like a fucking idiot. I walk into the store wanting to get, chicken wings, because I wanted to microwave some chicken wings. And I go in there, and they were all out of, like, the store looked like it had been picked clean. They said that somebody had hacked their store or something, so they didn't get their delivery. And there's a bunch of shit, like, missing, and there weren't any chicken wings. And then somebody fucking starts talking about, somebody asked about some wine. Like, our wine guy isn't here today. Nobody knows about it. And so I had to fucking chime in and, I know a thing or two about, And then, of course, right after that, I ended up buying fucking wine like a goddamn idiot. After I just spent fucking, 3 days fucking going back and forth to the toilet with the shits, feeling like crap. Just when I'd started feeling halfway normal again. God dang it. Fuck. So stupid, man. So stupid. I'm so sick of this shit, man. I'm so sick of this, man. Like, you don't understand what it's like. I try to describe it, but it's like that's what happens in my life, man. I feel like I don't feel like there's anybody I can trust, because everybody that I fucking have put my trust in, everybody that act like they're trying to help me always ends up fucking me over, robbing me blind, or trying to hurt me. And that's what happens. So I don't fucking trust anyone, man. I don't hardly trust anyone. Even the people that, even my own fucking father is this goddamn abusive narcissist. He's what most targeted individuals would call a perp, you know? The most abusive person in my fucking life, basically. But the whole goddamn world's basically abusive to me, or just smiling in my face while they take all my money, you know? They're happy to smile in my face until I run out of money and they spit on me, basically. You know? I don't know. God helps. There is some help, and there's always some kind of like synchronicity, some kind of like communication or something happening from God. And I'm talking like I've seen some major stuff, like, you know, writing in the clouds, you know, like serious major signs from God happening in my life. But and there's all kinds of little things, you know, all the time, like songs come on the radio that'll be talking about exactly what I'm thinking. Or last several times I've gone driving around, this song coming on the radio. You don't have to live like a refugee. Don't have to live like a refugee. You know? And it's like, yeah, fucking prove it. Show me, you know? You say I don't have to live like a refugee, but that's how I'm fucking living. That's how I've been living for a goddamn year. And I've gone all over the place trying to buy a place, and there's always some kind of shit there to prevent me from being able to get anything. And I'm just getting fucking robbed blind. I'm going broke. And the only kind of offers that I get that sound like offers to help seem like some kind of trap that's going to put me into a worse situation than I'm already in. You know? Basically. You know, like the guy with the you know, bombed out crack house of a mobile home. That's the only kind of fucking offers I get. That's all that's ever offered to me, basically. I've applied for subsidized housing, low income apartments. I've applied a bunch of places. They just take my fucking money and turn down my application. Or they just ignore me. Leave me to keep blowing through all my money. Who knows, maybe I'll finally get housing once I'm fucking flat broke and I can't fucking do anything anymore. Once I don't have any resources to be able to try to start a business or do anything, well, then I might get some assistance in housing. Maybe. I mean, that seems to be the way it works. It's not like I'm completely 100% screwed over all the time, because there is like God helping me somewhat, but it's not enough, though. It's not enough. I don't get enough help. I don't get the fucking help that I actually need to improve my station in life. How come complete fucking slimeball, super duper abusive, like nasty a-holes get these wonderful wives and shit? Women that worship the ground they walk on, love them madly, and I got to be alone. You know? God, I see all these homeless people everywhere, and you know what I see a lot? I see couples. I remember the Walmart parking lot. This is like a year ago, back when I was just starting to move, you know, and I see these couple of crackheads, but it's a guy and his girlfriend or whatever, right? Couple of crackheads just walking through the parking lot. Even that guy, even that fucking crackhead, has got himself a girlfriend. He's got a woman by his side. People sleeping under fucking bridges. Man and wife. Boyfriend and girlfriend. Sleeping under a fucking bridge. Sleeping in a tent in the park or something. I remember I'd sit out there, that so-called, apartment from hell or whatever, and I'd see, you know, like homeless dude pushing a shopping cart or whatever, with some woman walking beside him holding his hand, you know. But there ain't no love for me, man. There ain't no damn love for me.